Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this lovely Thursday afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well today. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar with our new integration partner, Pulse360. We're so excited to talk about that today. My name is Courtney Peak. I'm going to be the host of the webinar today. I'm the head of support here at PreciseFP. Joining me today is the founder and CEO of Pulse360, Anand Seth. Thank you so much for joining us today, Anand. We're so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you, Courtney.
Absolutely. So just on the agenda today and a few housekeeping items before we do get started. Everyone is on mute, but if you have any questions, go ahead and put those right in the GoToWebinar control panel. We should have some time at the end today for a Q&A session. We're also recording this session, so it'll be sent out to everyone about an hour after the webinar ends. And then as far as the agenda goes, we're just going to start with a quick demo of PreciseFP, because I know we've got some new folks to PreciseFP on the line, so we'll just go ahead and talk about PreciseFP real quickly, and then I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Anand so he can actually show you all the really cool things about the new integration. We're so excited about it, and then we will go ahead and wrap with a Q&A session at the end. All right, let's go ahead and just kind of quickly talk about what PreciseFP is for those who are brand new. So we're actually a data gathering platform. So we help advisors and firms kind of offload the work of collecting client data and client information. And we've actually been around since 2007. So for the past 15 years now, we really have grown from a simple financial questionnaire to a complete data management solution that captures and validates and securely stores client data. And we integrate with several CRMs, financial planning tools, and others like our friends at Pulse360, so that you can share client data between applications with the click of a button and really get out of the data entry business. A lot of times folks tend to think that we are just a fact-finding solution, but we really do have so many more solutions wrapped into our data gathering platforms, such as using us as a survey solution. We've got risk tolerance included, an IPS solution that's included, e-signature, document uploads and storage, lead generation, service agreements, and really so much more that's wrapped up into just one platform at one low cost. And like I mentioned before, when we actually first started out, we only had one questionnaire available and it wasn't able to be customized. So we've really evolved over the years with the help from advisors like you all to make PreciseFP what it is today, as well as really make the experience for your clients and your business really much more efficient. And that's really kind of what the premise of this webinar is too. Really talk about making you efficient in your processes. So really having all of these important pieces happening together with Pulse360 as well as in PreciseFP is definitely huge. So let's just go ahead and take a look real quickly at how you can use PreciseFP with your clients. So again, PreciseFP data gathering platform, right off the bat, we do have a library full of templates that are ready to go and ready to be used with clients and prospects. Now, as mentioned, we are a fully customizable solution. So you do not have to use any of these, or you can use them and kind of branch off and build out your own. We've got a full template editor that you can take any one of these and really make it your own. Even if you wanted to kind of come out here and brand it or add your own images or maybe cut it down for specific situations, whatever the process may be for you as well as your prospects and clients, PreciseFP really makes it so that the data gathering forms that you're putting in front of them really can be customized, even down to a specific client and prospect if need be. I've got a lot of folks who are very niche specific with their firms. Maybe they work with airline pilots or nurses. So what they do is, even like with their lead gen forms, they may take something like what we have here and customize it and make the language around their certain niche. So, lots of things and lots of possibilities for really making yourself kind of stand out when it comes to gathering data with your clients and prospects. And again, these forms that we have out here, they're all able to be branded. You can actually go out here and you can, which I've seen a lot of folks do, they come out here and even add videos to them, which is something you can certainly do. So I've seen advisors do that where they take like maybe an introductory video to themselves or their firm, and they kind of plug it in on the form. So when they click on the form, this your face pops up, and maybe you're just kind of talking about yourself. So you can put like a Loom video in there, for example, just really just kind of saying, the sky is the limit when it comes to these forms that are going out to your clients and prospects. So again, we've got a really great library that is out here that you can certainly use. So you don't have to, reinvent the wheel, but if you want to take maybe bits and pieces of our forms and, combine them into one all-encompassing form, or, you want to kind of break it apart and maybe, automate these pieces going out, that's something that you can certainly do too. So just kind of keep that in mind when using PreciseFP. Really, it is customizable, and just kind of think of it as, these are digital forms that you're engaging your client with to have them give you data. And that can look and feel however you want it. It can be as little or as big of a form as you want or need. And with our integrations with things like CRMs and financial planning software tools, once that data comes back, which it comes into PreciseFP after the client fills out the form, which Annette is going to show you how in Pulse360 you can actually send the link out to the client out of Pulse360, and then the client gets the link to the form and can fill it out. But that data comes back into PreciseFP for the client, and you can view that information in their profile, really kind of go section by section, line by line. And you can set up your email notifications too to let you know when a form has been completed out of PreciseFP. And then from here, you would just export it on over to your CRM or financial planning software. So it again kind of offloads the data entry a little more onto your clients. They're filling out through this digital form, which is secure, has encryption, all of that. And then the data goes over to your other platforms so that you and your firm and staff are not having to do any type of manual data entry whatsoever. And then, like we're saying too, if you wanted, you could actually automate a lot of these forms. So like if you send out a prospect form and a prospect fills that out, and maybe now the next form in your sequence is, I don't know, like a service agreement, which some folks use this as, that form can go out, they sign that, fill it out, and then it converts them from being a prospect to a client. So that's something that you can also set up too and have some more automation in the system in PreciseFP, really kind of having these forms going out automatically if you wanted to. And then as far as like the templates themselves, they're tablet and mobile friendly for the clients. So as they're, they get the link from you, they open it up, and what will happen is if they are viewing the form on, say, like a mobile device or a tablet, it does auto change for them into that environment. So it's able to go down to that that level. As you can see here in the preview, you can preview what it looks like in that environment too. So you can see what it looks like in a tablet or a mobile device for the client. And you can also set fields to be mandatory too. So that makes it when they do get the link to the form and they open it up, if there is a mandatory field, they can't skip over it. And there's also validation to these fields too. So take, for example, right here, we've got an email field. So in this case, if the client actually tries to go through and, maybe just put Courtney.com, it would actually reject that. It wouldn't allow them to actually go forward. So it makes it so that when the client is filling out this form, they really are going through here and they're filling it out, and you can make it so that, they can't actually complete the form until all fields that are mandatory are met. And even with the validation, it stops them right in their tracks too, which is really nice. And like I said too, you can add upload fields on it. So if you want your client to maybe send you any type of statements or really anything that you may need them to upload, that's a service that we also provide too. So just keep in mind, again, these forms can look and feel however you want. You can change the colors to them. Again, you can add videos, add images, you can remove sections. So, you know, if you've got a client that's coming through that's going to be filling out one of your forms that you know that they don't have children, well, you could actually remove this section here, right? So this wouldn't be something that would be applicable to them in the editor. You could actually go out there and you could remove that. So little things like that to really make you kind of stand out when it comes to these forms that you're engaging your client with. So you're not sending the same generic form every single time. So that really kind of, again, allows you to stand out there. And then with, prospecting, we've got a lot of folks who do use us as a prospecting tool. So you can create these different kind of lead gen forms in PreciseFP. We've got a few that are already available that you can certainly, use as is, or you can customize. Maybe you don't want to use something like this. Maybe you've got like a meeting checklist that you want to send out through Pulse360. So you could create like a meeting checklist form, or maybe you want to do something like your risk tolerance that goes out. So we've got that available too. So there's, as you can see, I'm just kind of scratching the surface of the availability that's already here when you get started with PreciseFP, but you can certainly go out there and kind of branch out and build out your own forms too. So just wanted to kind of drive that message home of being able to really kind of create your data gathering pieces here from PreciseFP in any way that you may need to. So there's a lot that's already built. You can use that. You can build your own. You can kind of mesh forms together if you want, or kind of break forms apart if you want. We don't limit you to the number of forms that you can send out. We don't limit you to the number of forms that you can have, and we don't limit you to the number of customizations that you can do. You can also set up to have like periodic email reminders go out for the forms too. So when you're in the editor, you actually can come out here and choose to have those kind of nudging the client, I guess you can say, reminders to go out to them, and they're customizable, they're branded. You choose the time frame that you want them to go out. And then if, those are the only 3 messages that go out to the client: the first email, the reminders, and the thank you email. All customizable, all able to be enabled or disabled. And if you need to have a copy of those emails that go out, you can actually set up a BCC. So there's really so much that can be done, again, within the platform. So with that, what I want to do is, because again, we're so excited about our new integration that the Pulse360 team worked on. It is so cool. You guys are going to really see how you can even do more with really kind of creating these efficiencies. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring Anad back on the line. He's going to show you all the really cool ins and outs of the Pulse360 and PreciseFP integration. And go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate that. And I don't know if you have made me the presentation. There you go. Perfect. So let me start off. Advisors, thank you for taking the time. Before I dive in, I wanted to kind of set the table here for what we're going to look at. Now, there's lots of integrations that come around. I wanted to actually show you a working version of how you could implement Pulse360 and PreciseFP with the recent announcement of our integration here to your practice, so that you can actually use this. This is one example of how you can utilize and gain efficiency and wow your prospects at the same time by showing them how you are, a professional, you're on top of it. Now, just as a background so that you all understand where I am coming from, I'm the founder of Pulse360, but for the past 2 decades, I was in the financial advisor space myself. To compliance. And so what I'm going to show you is, with that level of experience, how you can have a system where you can wow your prospects, before they even actually come in to meet with you, right? As soon as they made an inquiry, for example, and they've set up a meeting time with you, you can start doing things that can wow them and show them, wow, this advisor is really on top of it. Now, for you to be able to do that, you have to have lots of processes and systems in place. You have to have automation, and it has to be repeatable so that you don't fall off, the wagon after you do it one or two times. I know how many times we go to conferences and come back with great ideas, and then we implement it for one or two, and then it just falls apart, right? And so the way we built Pulse 360 to help you, and specifically with this integration with PreciseFP, is to say, you can set up the system once and then just use it over and over. And with the automation you're going to see, we're removing several steps for you and keeping you, having a pulse basically on what's happening with a prospect or even a client. Courtney, just a quick check. You're seeing my orange screen right now, right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So how do you go about wowing your prospects, right? Let's say they make that meeting. Well, first step would be, kind of looking at your process overall, right? Let's say there's a pre-meeting work that you're going to have to do before the client prospect comes in, then during the meeting, and then post-meeting. These are all different areas that you want to look at how you can take steps in each one. So for the first one, on the pre-meeting side, it would be awesome if you're able to email. If I am your prospect coming in, it would be awesome for me to get an email from you, the advisor, saying, hey, Anand, looking forward to talking to you about specifically what you are interested in. Not a generic email that says, oh, looking forward to this and this, but let's say I was interested in a Roth conversion, right? And you know this. You should send me an email that says, hey, we'll look at Roth conversion for you, right? But this takes a ton of time for you. What I'm going to show you is how you can actually do this in 2 minutes or less once you have set this up. Then if we move on to during the meeting, it would be awesome for you to actually have a proper PDF or a printout of an agenda that you can hand me as well as have you, so that we can kind of go through and shows your professionalism again, right? But once again, putting this together takes a long time for our practice, and there's no systems to do this. So what I'm going to show you now is how you can do this in a single click using Pulse 360. And then after the meeting, let's say I did not sign up right away with you. Well, how do you wow me to get me back in? You should send me a quick email that summarizes our meeting, even though we didn't cover much because it's the first meeting, but you as an advisor who's experienced enough, know enough to kind of, bring me back in. So you can send me an email like what you're seeing here. I don't expect you to read it, but basically saying, hey, Anand, I can help you with your Roth conversion. We're going to look at several accounts. And hey, by the way, here's a CPA form as well. So let's connect with your CPA. So you're literally showing me how you're ahead of the game and outlining exactly what's going to happen to me, even though I didn't sign up right there and then for you, right? And even if I do, it would be nice for you to just send me this. Well, this also would take an inordinate amount of time. I've done this myself manually for so long, but now I'm going to show you a way that you can set this up with PreciseFP links coming in less than 2 minutes. So you can go basically having professional deliverables from before the meeting all the way to after the meeting, just so that your prospect is, floored. No other advisors are able to do this as fast as what you would be able to do. So let me jump in to the demo, and give me 1 second, and I'm going to pause my sharing right here and jump over. So, okay, Courtney, just a check. You should be seeing Pulse 360 application now.
Yep, I sure do.
Awesome. So let me give you all a lay of the landscape first before I start, just so that you all know what's happening here. We connect with 3 CRMs, Redtail, Wealthbox, or Salesforce. So at the very top, what we're doing here is we're working with James Bond contact. And we're automatically, in this case, we're connected up. In this environment, what I want to do as an action item here is I'm going to prepare an agenda like the one you saw before to send that out. And then it's for the July 7th meeting. Again, we automatically pull the events from your calendars in either Redtail, Salesforce, or Wealthbox. Now, on the bottom right, what you're seeing is a template, which is the prospect email template that I'm going to prepare. Right now, it just shows you my email signature and nothing else. All of this that you're seeing is fully customizable, right? Let's go ahead and start adding and preparing. Let's assume we'll make this case for the Roth conversion that this prospect has booked and they're interested in a Roth conversion. So I'm going to show you now how fast we can populate this email and actually email this out to the client. So I'm going to go to a library. Now, just to kind of explain what a library is, this is pre-written text snippets that you may be writing over and over 100 times over for all the different prospects or clients. We make it so that you can actually store them and reuse them. And then you can customize and personalize them to the client. So you have a baseline to start with rather than reinventing the wheel over and over and over, right? So what I'm going to do is actually go into another concept of ours, what we call collections. A collections is something just like a pre-written email almost that I have prepared. And so I want to look for a prospect agenda, in this case for a Roth conversion. So I have my pre-written content right here for Roth conversion that I'm going to go ahead and with a single click add this. And now what it's done is adding those, and if I close this out, now it's added 3 notes right here, and you can see how this email is now being put together. Now let's personalize this. Here you can see it's saying client, love to help you with. Well, if you want to make me, kind of like, okay, pay attention to you as an advisor, I want you to tell me what I was interested in. So what we allow you to do is actually start going through and saying, you know what, James, you mentioned Roth conversion. And so this is the only data that you have to really type in, right? Because it's going to be different for every prospect that comes through. So let's say, hey, James, love to help you with Roth conversion. I'm going to go ahead and update that, but there's also a couple other things. Here, hey, to help you get the most out of our meeting, which is to discuss about your Roth conversion, take a few minutes and fill out this risk questionnaire. Now, this is where the PreciseFP link comes in. I'm going to leave it blank because I'm going to show you how we actually go ahead and bring that in automatically. And then, oh, we maybe for a Roth conversion, it'd be nice if we get the tax return as well, right? And so you can say, hey, 2020 tax return. Now, I understand clients in the first meeting may not want to bring this, but this shows them that you're on top of it. You're not wasting time. You're not, one of those advisors that just says, okay, let's just have 5 meetings to talk about these things. You're ahead of the game. And so now I'm going to go ahead and add that. That, as you can see, has filled in at the very top right here. Hey, James, love to help you with a Roth conversion. And now the PreciseFP link, which is right in here, I can actually click in, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because it was a placeholder for me to remember that I need to put in a PreciseFP link. And what I can do is actually click this link button right here for PreciseFP. What's happening is behind the scenes, we're now going to go and pull your contacts from PreciseFP and bring them in here. So let's say it's for James Bond here. And I can now search, and this is searching PreciseFP, bringing James Bond in, and then saying, okay, what engagement link do I want to send to James Bond here? In this case, it's risk tolerance, so I'll pick risk tolerance. Now, I don't want to be reminded in my case, just because obviously I'm going to get these emails, but you could leave them on if you want, and create the link. We have now sent the request back to PreciseFP, gotten the link back from PreciseFP, we copy and close, and I can either just paste it directly like this, or I can literally hyperlink it directly if I wanted to right there, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this link for James Bond and just keep it like this and press save. You are basically here ready now with this email to be sent out. And when you press send email, we automatically pull in any email address if there was one in the CRM. In this case, we don't have one for James Bond. We haven't entered one. But you can basically press send. We integrate also with your email provider. It doesn't matter what email provider you have. We can integrate. If you're part of a broker dealer, there may be some steps we have to do, but we can integrate with any email. It will sit better. So when you press send, it is coming from your own email and it's in your sent folder as well. So even compliance, can go through that and everything is fine, right? It's coming from you, not coming from Pulse360 whatsoever. So this was the step to kind of go through the agenda. Now, obviously, I took a little bit longer here than 2 minutes, but you can see how fast you can do it with when you are just in a groove, right? Once this is all set up, you press a couple of buttons and it's ready to go. Very, very personalized to me as as a potential prospect and a client for you. Now, the next step is during the meeting. What you could do is you could actually, and I mentioned you could convert this entire thing into a formal looking agenda. All you need to do is literally click and choose formal agenda. And just like that, a whole formal agenda is prepared that you could, print out or create a PDF out of and, have a copy for me, for example, for during the meeting. So we just went through kind of recapping a pre-meeting email agenda that you sent me that highlighted I was interested in a Roth conversion, that you're going to help me with it. Then during the meeting, now we have some sort of a framework for a formal agenda that you have with a single click right there. Now let's move forward to say after the meeting. And we finished, I go home. Now you want to talk to me about, hey, you want to send me a follow-up. And I'm going to now go back to agenda here and choose summary this time, because that's what I want to prepare. And so I now have my follow-up summary action that I'm going to do. It has changed my template to my follow-up template. Again, it doesn't have much material here. All of this that you see in the left was for the agenda, so that's not appropriate for a follow-up. So I'm going to go ahead and actually add a collection in here that will, you fill out just a few pieces of information and it makes it super personalized, and you can send it off in less than 2 minutes. So let's show you this. So I'm going to come back to the library right here, and I'm going to go to my collections, and I'm going to look for Roth conversion because that's what I want to do. And I have a collection that I had previously prepared about follow-up anytime somebody is interested in a Roth conversion. So let's go ahead and add that. And now when I close this out, you can see how this email now has populated. So at the very top, it just says, hey, it was great connecting with you on this day. By the way, here's how we can help you. Financial planning, look, I think we need to look at your entire picture. So please complete this data gathering packet. So here we need to enter in the PreciseFP link. And so I'm going to go through here and find my financial planning on here and click in. Again, I'll just go ahead and delete this because I don't want that. That was just my placeholder. Click PreciseFP, go to my data gathering, or sorry, find James Bond in this case. And then now I want to do a financial fact finder, let's say. And I can then choose options for authentication. You can do SMS, password, or email. I'm going to go ahead and delete these, and I'll keep this to, let's say, SMS. And if there was a husband and a wife, you could create secondary client as well. And so we'll create 2 separate links that you can actually send out. I'm going to uncheck this because I just want to create 1 link for James Bond. And so now when I click this, it's now created that 1 link that I can copy and come back into my here. And let's say I'm going to highlight this and just put it as a hyperlink so you can see how this will work. I'll paste that in here and I'll delete the top portion because I don't want that again. And I'll open it up a new tab, insert, save. Just like that, you now are able to create those PreciseFP link and drop them in your email that can go out to the client. That's very personalized, right? Now let's go into the next item here that I've pre-added here, which is a tax one. So I'll go through and fill out the tax one. So first here, hey James, it appears Roth conversion may be a good strategy for you. Let's work together and figure this out, basically. Very simple thing that I've just added. And then to kind of make it even more personalized, let's say they brought in or a couple of account statements for you. Well, what you could do is you could put in a note that says, hey, part of doing the Roth conversion, I can check out if we should take money from your Fidelity or from your Schwab IRA accounts, let's just say. Right? Again, you are connecting back with me, making it very personalized to me, and now I've updated it. This email is now ready to go to the client, but let's also look at this. We've also added in, hey client, this is something you need to do if you want to work with us, which is, hey, we're attaching a CPA form to let us connect with your CPA. You're being proactive with all of these steps, which is what the prospect sees basically, right? And what we do here is we have, because every note in Pulse360 you can attach, we have an info disclosure form already attached right here. Of course, if PreciseFP, you have something like this built in, you can, instead of in a file attachment, you could just use the link similar to what I just did before. Now, let's take it a step further from an automation perspective, just so you can see. Since we connect with Redtail, Wealthbox, or Salesforce, what we did is we actually created a task for the team member to say, follow up on the tax disclosure. This allows you to make sure if the prospect doesn't get back to you in time, at least your team is not dropping the ball somewhere and not forgetting that, hey, maybe we met with 5 prospects and 2 of them did not get back to us, right? This allows you to make sure of that also. So these tasks will auto get created in your CRMs. Again, Redtail, Wealthbox, or Salesforce, right? And I also have another task here that says follow up to see if they want to work with us. Again, just to kind of keep that motion going, right? To showing the clients, showing the prospects that we're ahead, right? We're on top of everything. So that gives you an overall view of how you can wow your prospects once you kind of think about the systems in terms of, hey, I want to send them an agenda. Then during the meeting, I want to show this, and post-meeting, I want to be able to quickly send them a high-level summary. Nothing very specific. You don't need to give them the whole farm, right? You can just give them a little piece of information that you can show. You heard them, you have the experience, you're on top of it, and here are some of the steps that they may need to do. So, Courtney, with that, I'd love to see if there's any questions come up, or if you have any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. We did have some questions come through, so let me go ahead and pull these up. I do have the websites for both PreciseFP and Pulse360 up there, so if you guys have any questions, again, go ahead and put those right in the GoToWebinar control panel. We'd be happy to answer anything. Let me go ahead and pull these up here. I accidentally closed it. All right, this was a question for PreciseFP. So they asked, can forms be embedded on our website? Yes, we have seen some folks do that for things like, it ranges, everybody's different, right? So I have seen some people put like fact finders out there for existing clients, but yes, the ability to publish forms for the web is something that you can do. Let's see, somebody asked another PreciseFP question. Can clients upload documents securely? Yes, 100%. They can, right? You can actually, on the forms, you can add what we call an upload element to them. And then your client can safely and securely attach documents right to that form. And then those documents actually would just come into PreciseFP. You can view and download them, or you can have them go to file-based exports like Google Drive, Dropbox, or Box.com. I think this one is for you. Somebody said, can you share how you are different or similar to Hubly? I haven't heard of Hubly.
Sure. Actually, so we are a client communication tool first, and we send your workflows as well as tasks back to your CRM, Redtail, Wealthbox, or Salesforce. Hubly is another workflow tool that we have not yet integrated with. Eventually, we will, but they're purely a workflow engine. We're a client communication, meeting notes, meeting agenda, meeting prep, meeting follow-up. That's where we come in. So, there's a big difference between what Hubly does and what we do. We're in the forefront of your image, quote unquote, in front of your clients and or prospects, right? Within professional looking agendas, professional looking follow-ups, and then we automate the tasks and workflow back in the CRMs. When we do with Hubly, we'll then also allow you to automate, let's say if it's route conversion back there in Hubly.
Got it. Thank you for that. And somebody also asked for you, what is the cost of Pulse 360?
Sure. So if you go to our website, pulse360.com, there's overall two main plans we have, Pro plan and a starter plan. And the Pro plan starts for a yearly subscription is $44 per user per month. Or the starter plan is $26 per user per month. The starter one does not have any of the automations that you saw. And Pro plan includes everything, including the PreciseFP that you just saw. These are the annual pricing. There's, of course, monthly as well. So if you go to our website, pulse360.com, right at the top, there's a pricing, and you can look at the pricing right there and even schedule a demo if you'd like.
Perfect. Okay, got another one for you here. It says, if I do not work with Redtail or Salesforce as my CRM provider, then is the value of your program diminished?
So you do miss out on some of the automation, absolutely, right? Like, for example, we send all your notes automatically back to the CRM, we create those tasks, we create the workflows. Saying that, we actually have advisors using us even without a CRM integration because they use Juncture or HubSpot or some others. And mainly because how easy we make to capture meeting notes, review that, prepare an agenda for next meeting, then send a follow-up, even take handwritten notes directly in it. So you still get a huge value out. You just maybe perhaps miss out on some of the automations.
All right, excellent. Another one for you here. Someone asked, is there a way to get contact info into PreciseFP from Pulse 360?
So that is something actually we are going to see. We have not touched that yet because I know PreciseFP already connects, you can create a contact there somehow and it goes into the Redtail CRM or Wealthbox, I think, as well, right? So
Yep.
Courtney, maybe you have more insight there. We haven't touched it because we need to understand that flow before we try and be a third player in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. So with integrations that we have with like Redtail and Wealthbox and with Salesforce and who am I missing? I think Salesforce, Wealthbox, and Redtail, we have bidirectional integrations with those folks. So if you have, and it's kind of a best practice for us too, is if you have somebody in your CRM and you need to do data gathering with them, well, you could actually import them in first into PreciseFP. And then when you go to, send out a Pulse 360 and create that engagement for them, just depending on the form that you send out to them, if you're doing something maybe like a fact finder or what have you, it could actually come pre-filled out. It would be, much less work for the client or prospect in that regard. So even if you just have like basics on file for them, I would definitely recommend just doing an import in. And that way too, when, they get the form and they fill it out, what happens is the data comes back into PreciseFP. And if they made any changes to it, the profile for them in PreciseFP actually highlights to let you know, hey, this is exactly where they made a change. So you can easily hone in on that and see exactly where the update was made. And then you export it back over. And now you're linked to their existing record over there. So then those updates actually just go into the existing record. So it avoids any duplicate accounts accounts or duplicate data from ending up in your CRM. And the same goes for financial planning software that we integrate with too, like eMoney is bidirectional as well, so that same kind of process would work there. All right, got a PreciseFP question here. What does compliance disclosures look like? So from within PreciseFP, I mean, those can really look however you want them to look. You have the ability with emails that go out of the system, you can actually put an email disclosure by default out there. So if anytime it changes, it's easily changeable in the system. And then also what I've seen advisors do with like their templates is, you know, if you've got certain verbiage like a disclosure that you need to put on everything, you can easily put that on one form and then copy it over to other forms as well, so you don't have to retype it or anything like that. So and that goes for, you know, really any fields that you may lay down on a template too. If you create it on one template and you want that to you know, carry over into multiple templates, that's definitely something that you can do. It just makes your life easier, so you don't have to, you know, redo that on multiple forms. All right, well, that looks to be all of the questions. So, Anand, I want to thank you again so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for showing that integration. I know that was definitely a lot of takeaways for folks today. So again, we appreciate you and appreciate your partnership.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Appreciate it. And thanks everybody for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Again, got our email, or excuse me, our websites out there. So if any questions come up afterwards, don't hesitate to go to our websites and reach out to us. We're all more than happy to help you guys along the way. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day and a safe weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.